Hello, I'm Enzo, and today I'll be playing Azur Lane. And today I'll be going over the new Gear Lab update. This update adds the ultra rare Eagle Union Georgia main gun and a new Iris Libre ultra rare anti-air. The reason I'm just scrolling through this is because this was taken after I looked at all the gear and I was trying to figure out what all the stuff was, especially the time fuse and new battleship anti-airs. I'll explain those in a bit more detail later on, but pretty much they're extremely awesome long-range anti-air weapons that are made specifically for battleships and battlecruisers and aviation battleships. There's also some new stuff in the Operation Siren shop. I'll go take a look at that later. There's also Iris gear packs in the metal shop now. I've opened a few and they've all given me terrible loot. I mean, they're blue, so I assume you get low-level loot from them, and it's probably just to help you start developing Iris gear in the Gear Lab. They also did change the UI a bit and made all the different types of ships a bit clearer, especially in hard mode stages, so that's pretty cool. When I first recorded this, I was kind of just scrolling through it without looking at the patch notes because I just wanted to see what was up. So we have this. It's pretty much an upgrade of the Eagle Union dual-purpose destroyer gun, however, it's only for battleships and all the different battleship types. This is a new secondary weapon, and it uses armor piercing, which means it can pierce up to 2 enemies with a single round. So it's extremely useful, especially for killing the suicide boats, because man, those things are annoying to deal with high explosives. I was also just quickly scrolling through, but in light cruiser guns, you can also make Seattle's main gun now, so that's pretty good, because it is one of the best cruiser guns in the game. After that, we get to where I want to be, the battleship main guns. Now, I just went ahead and showed how I crafted this thing, because I mean, we already know what it is. You need a new type of thing. It's the Tier 3 Ordnance Testing Reports. To do that, you just gotta craft some of the Tier 2s, which are usually difficult to find, but I haven't made much gear, so I have plenty of them. Still, very expensive for newer players. Still, though, we got it. And I mean, I don't know what I'm gonna do with the third one of these, but I have it. It's extremely expensive to make an upgrade, but it's great because I just bought my last ones from the prototype shop. So yay, I can get more now. In anti-air, I also found this. It's another type of the dual-purpose gun, but this time it's only anti-air. And the cool thing about this is it has a new time fuse. It's a little circle on the top left of the gun. Now, I know it sounds confusing, but pretty much it just means it's a very long-range anti-air. That's what all the time fuses ones are. And they're meant only for battleships and all the different battleship types. So yeah, basically just battleship anti-air. And the last thing in the Eagle Union is the Flying Flapjack. This thing is awesome, just because of how terrible it is. I don't think it's actually that terrible of a fighter stat-wise, but the design is just cursed. I mean, it's so cursed I needed to get it, and I did decide to use it later on Perseus. And trust me, they do absolutely look as stupid as they sound, even in combat. Still, I love them. Back in the Gear Lab, and now looking at the Royal Navy stuff, there's this new high-explosive cruiser gun. I assume since it's the next one in the line, it's slightly better than the one we already have. I haven't had the time or money to try it yet, but maybe someday I will. I'm pretty sure it's still probably better. We'll see. The only other interesting thing in the Royal Navy section is the time fuse anti-air here. In the Sakura Empire, I kinda missed it when I was quickly scrolling through, but you can now make Azuma's main gun in the battleship category. And there's another time fuse anti-air, although this gun sucks normally, so... In the Iron Blood section, I don't remember if you could craft this before, but you can now. And yet another, still terrible, time fuse anti-air. Now it's time for the fun part, the new Iris guns. You can now craft the Destroyer gun, which means I don't have to farm for that anymore. That's awesome. Cruiser guns are an absolute crime. This is one of the worst heavy cruiser guns in the game. Battleship, same thing, garbage. All we're here for is this, the awesome ultra rare anti-air. I saw it, I knew I wanted it. Well, I mean, I was gonna get it anyways, but still, it looks pretty neat. And as usual, the only issue I have with it is how expensive it was to craft and upgrade. But still, awesome ultra rare anti-air. What I've been waiting for. So, stat-wise, looking at this thing, the stats are pretty good. The only thing I didn't show was the range. The range is 30. The firing angle most of the time is 360, so it's usually that for most of the best anti-air in this game, including this one. And when compared to sextuple anti-air, it's actually way better, of course, but it only has 2 more range than this one. So that's just what I saw. These are the stats of this gun. This is the anti-air version, not the destroyer gun version. And you can see the crazy thing to me is the range is 100 to 125. Besides that, though, it's still a great anti-air that even has some firepower, so I would recommend getting it. Also, the cool thing about aircraft now is you see where the fire rate is, the little triangle. I didn't realize it when I was recording, but if you click that, it shows the intercept time as well. When a plane is launched to intercept, it's pretty much purely anti-air and does nothing else. This is the battleship secondary destroyer gun. Now, the only issue I have with this is there aren't many battleships that use destroyer guns. Usually, if you have a cruiser gun, it's a better bet, mostly because cruiser guns also have more firepower. And I much more prefer the Royal Navy AP guns. They're probably the best secondary cruiser gun. As a test, I decided to give Frederick Dergross both the anti-air and the secondary gun. I got confused while looking for it because it is at the top right. I thought it would be a bit lower, but I was wrong. And funnily enough, I love the flying Flapjack so much, I just kept it on Perseus. It's such an awesome plane. So in a perfect world, you would give the anti-air to like Cheshire or San Diego or Helena. But it's going to Plymouth. I mean, might as well. Not many of my fleets need anti-air, considering I mostly do Operation Siren. Now, it's pretty hard to tell because I don't have a full fleet, but the anti-air compared to other types isn't crazy different. I assume in certain situations and certain battles with more aircraft it's probably more useful, but I don't see a difference yet. But to be fair, Plymouth also does have relatively low anti-air for light cruisers, because, San Diego exists. But, it's ultra rare, so I had to get it anyways. After that, the next thing I wanted to go over is this, Hidden Zone Data Logger. This pretty much gives you access to using strategic search in hidden zones. And then, of course, lore missions. I was going to show the lore, but I decided not to because it's very confusing at this point. It took me a little while to figure out how to use this thing exactly, but yeah, you just go to strategic search, you hit hidden, and boom. You can choose a bunch of different settings. I just left them all on so that it automatically does what it wants. The only issue is I didn't have that many hidden zones to go explore, so this is just one I wanted to show off. Still, it works amazingly well. I haven't really used auto search in hidden zones because I thought it was really derpy, but no, it's pretty amazing. I mean, this is going to save me so much time now that I know I can just do this and let my tablet just run and clear all of my hidden zones. So that's awesome. And the only thing that will slow you down is when you encounter Akashi. And now the other major part of the update, the new meta boss, Arizona meta. Now, honestly, I don't know how difficult she's going to be and what fleet and strategy I'm going to use. I'll make a video on that later. It's going to take me about a week or two to figure everything out because, I have to first figure out what fleet I want to use, then try it a few billion times, and then maybe it'll work. Plus, 100%ing a boss is insanely difficult. But yeah, I don't get much data from these first few runs because New Jersey's barrage will just instantly one-shot Arizona meta. Not much I can do about it. Still though, her attack patterns actually look really cool and I'm excited to see what all of her abilities are because I completely forgot to read them on the little description card. As I go over the sync rewards, this is going to be about the end of the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys like more Azur Lane because I definitely have another video coming out. I know it's not insanely popular game, but it's one of my favorites for sure. Anyways, this is going to be Enzo from LookIntoGaming signing out.